Is Tottenham's season already over? The answer might shock you. Their recent performances have been so predictable, it's like watching the same match on repeat. But here's the twist. Some fans believe Rúben Amorim and a 3-4-3 formation could save them. Let's dive into why that's a fantasy and why Tottenham's real problems run much deeper. First, let's talk about the Premier League match between AFC Bournemouth and Tottenham Hotspur. I initially expected Bournemouth to win outright, but just before making my prediction, I remembered Antoine Semenyo might not play due to a pending transfer. Without him, I thought a draw was likely. But he started and even scored the winner, proving my initial assessment right. His goal was pure individual brilliance, a Doku-esque long-range strike. Even if you don't buy that analysis, one thing is clear. Tottenham's recent form shows that no stamina equals no results. I've been saying this for a month or two now. Whenever their fitness drops, betting against them usually pays off. Even after Xavi Simons returned from suspension and made an impact with a quick counter-attacking assist, and Mathys Tel scored a rare beauty, Tottenham's lead lasted only about 15 minutes, shorter than Manchester United's so-called half-hour dominance earlier this season. The reason is simple. European competition adds pressure, and by mid-season, their stamina runs out sooner. Around the 20-minute mark, Bournemouth's acceleration and pace completely outmatched Spurs. Tottenham didn't slow the tempo either, trying to match Bournemouth's speed, but when they briefly retreated, they were easily overrun. Both conceded goals were straightforward high balls, and under pressure, they often couldn't play out from the back. Their forward pushes were frequently intercepted, allowing Bournemouth to counter. Here's the key. If you're playing fast counters, even if you're caught, you should at least force a throw-in or corner. But Tottenham's quick transitions were still getting countered, proving their lack of running power, explosiveness and physicality. Even their most energetic player, the Swedish guy, was subbed off twice. They equalised from a scrappy corner, but before that, there was no real improvement. Substitutes brought a slight spark, but Bournemouth still had the upper hand, and the late winner was justified. They kept accelerating while Tottenham's stamina faded, leaving them unable to push back. This match already featured their most dynamic midfield and attack, yet they still couldn't deliver, meaning even their best lineup isn't enough. Signing Conor Gallagher won't help. He'd just continue the high-tempo play, but the squad can't sustain it mid-season. It'll only get worse. Now sacking Thomas Frank for Rúben Amorim and switching to 3-4-3, that formation also burns stamina. Amorim might initially try to slow things down, but that often traps teams in a back three system that struggles to attack, forcing them to speed up again. So you either play slow 3-4-3 and lose to low blocks, or speed up and run out of gas. Amorim wouldn't change anything. The only real solution is a world-class defensive midfielder who can control tempo, conserve teammates' energy, and occasionally turn games around with individual brilliance. But are there any top-tier number 6 available? Can Tottenham afford one? If they end up with Gallagher as their so-called defensive midfielder, then it's game over. Burning out in the first half of the season means the second half is doomed. Just like Manchester United, this season they can only hope for a decent finish and a reset next year. But with summer tournaments, proper rest might not even happen. As for Amorim versus Frank, at least Frank has Premier League experience. The only thing Amorim might have over him is luck. Before the season, I said Frank had the worst luck among top-tier managers and predicted he'd be the first sacked. Instead, the unlucky one stayed, making Tottenham worse. Not sacking him was the worst move. Lesson learned. Bad luck doesn't always mean a sacking, but it does mean poor results. More proof of bad luck, drawing Aston Villa in the FA Cup third round, instead of a League One side for an easy rest. Another exhausting match. The players are suffering. Against Villa, both teams were tired. Villa lost Boubacar Kamara early, and Tottenham soon added to their injury list. Each side scored from exploiting the other's so-called ambiguous pressing, where the forward line doesn't press, but the defensive line pushes high. The difference? Villa's defence is higher quality, holding their shape better, while Tottenham's backline couldn't cope. In the 78th minute, Tottenham's offside trap failed. Villa are known for their well-drilled offside line, and Spurs weren't prepared. Before half-time, a chaotic defensive scramble led to Villa strolling into the box for an easy rebound goal. Tottenham pushed harder in the second half, managing a counter to make it 1-2, but that was their limit. The 2 goals conceded mirrored the Bournemouth game, defenders getting overrun despite numbers. It's not a personnel issue, it's technical and fitness problems, and mid-season fatigue only worsens it. Tottenham have no solutions, realistically none exist. Changing managers might not even spark an immediate reaction. Looking ahead, Rodrigo Bentancur is out until May, Mohamed Kudus is injured, Brennan Johnson might even be sold in April, and Richarlison is also sidelined. Only Conor Gallagher remains to help. Even if Dejan Kulusevski and James Maddison return, this season is effectively over. Manchester United face the same issue. Their campaign is done, just hoping it doesn't get worse. This again proves top teams in multiple competitions must control possession. For a decade, people have insisted Manchester United don't need to emulate Pep Guardiola, thinking they can rely on Fergie-era fast attacks. But the Premier League's elite landscape has changed. Tottenham hiring that type of coach has led to this mess. If you enjoyed this analysis, show some love by commenting, liking and subscribing to the channel. Thanks.